I've always been fascinated by mysteries, and today we're diving into one of history's greatest enigmas. Imagine this. An elite Roman legion, veterans of countless battles, suddenly vanishing without a trace. It sounds like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster, but it's a real historical puzzle that's stumped scholars for centuries. I'm talking about the infamous Ninth Legion. And buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey through time to unravel their fate. Now you might be wondering, what's so special about the Ninth Legion? Well, let me tell you, these guys were the cream of the crop. Formed in the 1st century BCE, the Ninth was one of Rome's most prestigious military units. They weren't just any old soldiers, these were the elite, the best of the best, handpicked to serve Rome's ever-expanding empire. Oh, let's be clear, the Ninth wasn't just about brawn. These legionaries were a sophisticated fighting machine, combining strength with strategy, discipline with adaptability. They were the embodiment of Roman military might, a force to be reckoned with on any battlefield. The Ninth Legion didn't just sit around polishing their shields. Oh no, these guys were right in the thick of it from the get-go. Their first claim to fame, fighting alongside the big man himself, Julius Caesar, and his campaigns in Gaul. Can you imagine the stories they must have had? Oh yeah, I was there when Caesar crossed the Rubicon, no big deal. But wait, there's more. In 43 CE, the Ninth was part of the Roman invasion force that landed in Britain. Talk about a tough assignment. The island was a wild frontier, filled with fierce tribes who weren't exactly rolling out the welcome mat for Rome. But the Ninth, they were up for the challenge. So, we've got this badass legion with a stellar track record. You'd think we'd know everything about them, right? Wrong. This is where things get weird. By the early 2nd century CE, the Ninth Legion just disappears. Poof. Gone. No more mentions in official Roman documents, no more archaeological evidence. It's like they vanished into thin air. The last confirmed sighting of the Ninth, Ibericum, or as we know it today, York. After that, nothing, nada, zilch. It's like the entire legion decided to play the world's longest game of hide and seek. But what could have happened to an entire legion of Rome's finest? Well, that's where the theories come in, and boy, do people have theories. All right, let's dive into our first theory, and it's a doozy. Imagine this, the Ninth Legion marching north into the wilds of what we now call Scotland. The mist is thick, visibility is low, and suddenly, ambush. Local tribes, maybe the Picts, swarm out of nowhere and wipe out the entire legion. It's dramatic, it's tragic, and it would explain why the Ninth vanished so completely. But this theory isn't just wild speculation. There's some evidence to back it up. Roman forts north of Hadrian's Wall show signs of sudden destruction. The Roman historian Tacitus mentions heavy fighting in the region. It all seems to fit, right? Well, not so fast. There's a big problem with this theory. No mass grave or battlefield has ever been found. You'd think a massacre of an entire legion would leave some traces, but nope, nothing. Okay, so if the Ninth wasn't wiped out in Britain, where did they go? Well, our second theory suggests they weren't destroyed in Britain at all. Instead, they were transferred to the Roman frontier in the east. Maybe they ended up in Judea or Armenia. The idea is that they were moved to another hotspot in the empire and met their end there. Now, you might be wondering, is there any evidence for this? Well, kind of. Some Roman inscriptions suggest parts of the Ninth were in the Rhine or Danube regions, but here's the problem. There's no definitive proof that links the full legion to any campaign after Britain. It's like finding a few puzzle pieces but missing the big picture. We've got hints and clues, but nothing concrete enough to solve the mystery. Our third theory is less dramatic, but in some ways even more intriguing. What if the Ninth Legion didn't meet a violent end at all? What if they were simply disbanded, or maybe renamed and absorbed into another legion? It sounds anticlimactic, but bear with me here. The Romans were known to do this occasionally, especially if a legion had suffered heavy losses, or if there were political reasons to shake things up. But wait, you might be thinking, wouldn't there be a record of this? And you'd be right to ask that. This is where the theory hits a snag. Normally, disbanding or renaming a legion would be documented. It would be right there in the official records, but with the Ninth, nothing, not a peep. It's as if someone took an eraser to history itself, wiping out all traces of what happened to them. So, we've got all these theories, but what does the physical evidence tell us? Well, not as much as we'd like, unfortunately. The last solid piece of evidence we have for the Ninth Legion is a stone inscription found in York, dated to around 108 CE. After that, radio silence. No more tiles stamped with their legion number, no more inscriptions, no more anything. The mystery of the Ninth Legion hasn't just captivated historians, it's fired up the imagination of artists and storytellers too. Take the 2011 film The Eagle, for example. It tells the story of a Roman soldier who goes on a quest to recover the Ninth's lost standard in Scotland. It's a tale of honor, adventure, and the search for truth, all inspired by the real-life mystery we've been exploring. So why does the fate of the Ninth Legion still captivate us after all these centuries? I think it's because their story touches on something universal. It's not just about a missing military unit. It's about the fragility of even the mightiest empires. The idea that an elite force, part of the most powerful empire of its time, could vanish without a trace. It's both chilling and oddly romantic. And there you have it, the enigma of Rome's lost Ninth Legion. We've marched through their history, explored the theories and examined the evidence, but in the end, the mystery remains. Maybe that's why it continues to fascinate us. In a world where we think we have all the answers at our fingertips, the fate of the Ninth reminds us that some questions may never be fully answered. But that doesn't mean we'll stop looking.